So Spencer, it's time for our weekly catch-up. We didn't have a competitive fixture last week, so just one simple question. How's the week been?
I think, as I remind a few people, I think this is my 26th year. I have to say the last 24 hours is right up there with the worst in 26 years, I'm afraid. I've got to report. Don't want to be negative, but... So, we've had a few departures, and I want to remind everyone, our fans in particular, and our fans are brilliant, that football is important, but it's not as important as many other things. So, starting with Sam Smart. Sam Smart has left us. Sam has a young family, and they live in Sheffield, and he wanted to come down south. I've been after him for years, and he was staying with his mother in Portsmouth area, and it hasn't worked. And I've used this 2 weeks off to speak to players, to go, come on, how are you feeling? What do we need to do to help you and to get everyone back into form? And Sam, fell on his sword and said, look, I miss my family and it's too much, and I'd like to go back up north. And there's not a lot I can say to that, except, we circulated him to the northern clubs, and he's agreed a deal with a club that's in Derbyshire and trains in Sheffield, where he lives. So regretfully, Sam has or is signing for a side up north. We wish him all the best, his young family. I'm gutted, actually, really gutted, but we tried. Really good agent, lovely guy, Sam, but it's too much, and he's got to put his family first, it's disappointing, but it is what it is, family first, and rightfully so. And sadly, I have to give the news that Mason Bloomfield has also left the club, and it's, we'll put a statement out to what's going on, but Mason, again, I spoke to and said, how are you? And he's given me some information which will remain private. All I've discussed with him what we're going to say. He has got a serious family matter that he is his priority, and absolutely right. He is the most wonderful person, and we wish him and his family so much hope for the future. I'm sure it's going to be fine. He's got to prioritise, otherwise he's not going to play football. He's told us he wants to step away from football for possibly some time. He needs to focus on his family, and he obviously, this was a bombshell to me when I found out yesterday, and I'm gutted for him, but he's a fabulous guy. I've told him he's welcome back at any time, and so he's asked to cancel his contract, and he's not going to play football and focus on his family. So we just wish him so much joy, and hopefully and I'm sure they will get through it. But it's a family private matter, and again, rightfully so. We can do nothing but try and give him support and wish him all the best, and he's welcome back any time. So sadly, we've lost him as well. We have injury problems is an understatement, and I don't want to make excuses, because I'm definitely going to be positive in towards the end of this in the attitude that we have got an exceptional group of players that are fit and will be playing on Saturday. And some of these lads we're talking about haven't been in the starting 11 in the last few weeks, and now I understand reasons why, or certainly contributing factors. So there can be no excuse from me or the players. We've got a really good team. Yes, there are numerous other issues which I'm not going to discuss in these interviews. I don't like giving away too much. We certainly have some problems that I need to work on, and clearly we are threadbare at the moment. But we do have a little bit of good news. Manny Odeliki's scan came back, and it was much better than he hoped. So he's targeting another 2 weeks, which is fantastic news. So there is a little bit of positivity. John Page training, we'll see how that goes. The same with Guy Hollis. Ben Mason's doing well in his building up to speed at Chertsey. So he's only got just over 2 weeks left on that to the 28 days. So there's a lot of short-term pain, but a really good team that really should have won that game at Hemel, in my view. Despite we're playing the league leaders unbeaten away, And as I said, I've said numerous times, I felt we should have won the game, but Bobby's got a top side there, and there can be no excuses. Yes, there's some challenges to overcome, and it's been a really horrible week. There's no doubt about it. Clearly, we need strengthening. Budget-wise, wow, that's decimated it. So we've got a little bit of room, but only a little bit. The FA Cup did not help, but we don't really budget for that. So really tough personal week, because when you hear these stories, you just want to almost help these young men, try and give them as much support, because it's nothing we could have thought of, and it's been a horrible time, and we're preparing hard for Aveley with very limited numbers, but we've got to get on with it, and we've still got a really strong side. We do, no excuse, really strong side. We're at home, players playing really well, certainly in the attacking sense. There's going to be a few square pegs in round holes, I have to say, on Saturday. I've called CJ, I'm waiting for an answer, there's no doubt about it. I want to give him every opportunity, and it's his decision, there's no question. Got to call, I'm waiting to hear from CJ, but as I said before, he's absolute legend. He's got to decide what he wants to do, so that's down to him. So we're working really hard already. I didn't think we'd be looking to change many players quickly, but obviously circumstances have changed, and you've got to look at the bigger picture. You've got to look at this family first, absolutely. So, and I pride myself on that we have to make sure that we look after these young men and their families, and we wish Sam and Mason all the very, very best as they go forward.
As you say, we wish Sam and Mason all the best going forward. So if we look ahead to Saturday then with Aveley, what can we expect Aveley to be like?
Look, I said before, I think Danny Scopes was my manager of the year, closely followed by Coops at the Oval. I thought that's an incredible achievement to get in the playoffs. It's no detriment to any side that second year is typically cliche, tougher. They've had a tough start to the season, but we're only in the start of the season. They'll be direct, they'll be big, they'll be strong, they've got long throw. They work so hard for Danny. Most of their games have been close. It's a tough game, every game is, and circumstances. But we're at home. We're hoping that it'll be a good turnout of fans, and we're 2 points off second, 5 points off top, and we've had a tough start to the season with lots of circumstances. But as I said, we're right up there. We're right up there. So we've got a lot more to give. Clearly, we're going to have to do a little bit of changing. And I emphasise yet again, the players that have just left us haven't been in the starting 11 in the recent weeks. So, same phrase, no excuses. So, look, really tough game. Every game is. But I also want us to go back with our shoulders back and go, do you know what? Let's get behind this group of players. Let's wish the lads that have gone all the support and almost do it for them. I know it's a bit of a cliche. They've got tough times. We want everybody smiling. And we're banging this. So we know we've got to play well. We know we've got challenges. We've got challenges to deal with Aveley, as we do with every team. But we're almost desperate to play. I'm certainly desperate to get off the phone, to try to support players and potentially bring other players in. And there certainly might have to be one or two we just draft in just to get us through the next week or two. But let's look at an overall situation. The club is really flourishing. We're in a good league position without hitting the heights yet. And we'll look forward to getting as many people down on Saturday, and a really exciting home game. I said, can't wait to be playing football.
Cheers, Spencer, and good luck Saturday.